Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So we haven't actually spoken about the PTR changes at all really since they came out. We have gone over the changes and what they are, but not really what it would mean for the game if they hit the live servers. Well, after playing around on the PTR and hearing reactions from other figureheads, we wanted to go over 3 heroes in particular. A hero that seems somewhat uncontested, a hero that's going to see much more considerable use, and also just maybe our saving grace if things start to go horribly. But I am curious to see what you guys think about the PTR changes, and let us know in the comments below if you feel like we may have missed some important information.
Dealing with PHARAH used to be a fairly straightforward task, or at least some would assume that. During the triple tank meta, PHARAH didn't really have any way to contest in the meta at all. Whilst she did have some mobility changes with her jetpack, she couldn't really deal with the monster that was D.Va at the time. When D.Va got nerfed and Soldier got buffed, it seemed like the scenario would be similar for PHARAH. Hitscan seemed like a solid option to clear PHARAH out of the skies, but that just wasn't the case in the end. Fast forward to today and she's one of the most popular DPS options across the board and can cause huge problems in lower, mid and even sometimes high skill tiers to some extent. With the experimental changes on the PTR as well, the fact that they don't really highlight anything to do with PHARAH is kinda surprising really. I don't think she needs nerfing, but certainly nerfing Soldier and not changing anything about McCree does put her in a stronger position than before. Not that much stronger, but definitely stronger. Blizzard have done pretty well recently when it comes to making heroes not overpowered and balancing the game well, but I do feel that if these changes do go through to the live game, then PHARAH is going to have a much easier time than before. The Soldier nerf on the face of it doesn't look like much, but in the bigger picture it would be a huge problem for shutting down PHARAHs. Not only do we have this damage nerf on Soldier and the damage nerf from Ana from before, but Mercy is going through a popular stage as well, meaning that it's most likely going to be even more difficult to shut PHARAH down in the future.
I'd say overall the changes on the PTR were fairly subtle. Genji got a quality of life change, Soldier was nerfed but also not really, Orisa was nerfed but also buffed at the same time, so nothing really stood out on the patch notes page that could really sort of rock the meta boat. Apart from Hanzo. It's really easy to look at Hanzo's charge rate buff as a nice little change, but it's a lot more than that. Of course it's more damage because you get to fire more stronger arrows, but it's the other things as well. The fact that Hanzo can now notch his arrow then wall climb up with it still charged is a huge change. It means that Hanzo can fire up a scatter arrow ready, wall climb up the side of a building, and then fire it into an unsuspecting enemy. And the problem with that is there's no real easy way to mitigate that kind of damage. You can't preemptively defense matrix as D.Va, or you might be stood in the wrong spot as Reinhardt. So it really does put a lot of pressure on the enemy when you do this. But there is the other buff Hanzo received that kinda confused a lot of people. So we want to go over that now. So on the live servers when you fire the dragon strike arrow, there's about 5 to 10 meters of nothing before the dragon actually sort of starts up. Meaning that if you shot it through a wall or somebody that was really close to you, you would completely miss them. What this change means now is that when the dragon arrow actually hits a wall, the dragon then spawns. Meaning that if you ult an enemy through a wall, the dragon will instantly spawn on them, meaning that it's going to be almost impossible for these players to get out of the way without dying. This is huge and ultimately, get it? It gives Hanzo the possibility of picking up more kills with the dragon whilst not having to dedicate other ults to it such as Grav. It's safe to say that Hanzo with these changes has a lot more utility and a lot more to offer when it comes to actually killing people, and that's kind of scary. Not only to be on the other side of it, but also to be on the same team as some Hanzo players that don't quite get it. He is a very difficult hero to play, and of course a lot of people like to take that challenge of playing Hanzo to a considerable level. But much like Widowmaker, if the situation doesn't dictate him, there's very little that you can actually do. So I'm pretty safe to say that I can imagine a lot of you guys could do without seeing this Hanzo buff, but it really is a wait and see kind of thing. Whilst he would be a lot stronger with these changes, that's not to say that he's going to be the king of the meta anytime soon. But it is going to have an impact whichever way that you look at it.
But there is one hero at the moment that might be an answer to all of this, and that's D.Va. The reaction surrounding D.Va discussion is always an interesting one, but I do feel that she is still an incredibly viable tank and is strong against both of these heroes we covered today. From our own ranked experience, it does feel that players are almost scared to pick up the mecha just because she simply isn't as strong as she used to be. Whilst she is a bit lost for her tankiness, she is still a strong and viable pick for her defense matrix and other qualities. If we were to give a forecast for any upcoming meta shifts with these changes, we would probably say that PHARAH and Tracer are going to continue their DPS dominance, Hanzo now becomes a viable pick so long as he's played correctly, and that D.Va may have more of a shout when it comes to contesting the off-tank spot there. Ryan and I definitely feel that triple tank lineups have been looming again recently, and playing D.Va alongside a Reinhardt and Roadhog might become the best way to shut down some of these pesky DPS heroes. To be honest, we're in a pretty healthy situation in a pretty healthy meta right now, but I'm not 100% certain that these changes on the PTR are going to make things much better.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think of PHARAH, whether she's a hero that kinda needs a nerf or needs some form of change to stop her being so strong right now. What about Hanzo? Do you like these changes, or are you kinda not looking forward to dealing with all of the Hanzo mains in your game? They're gonna take this in their stride. And finally, Diva, a hero that has had a bit of misfortune recently but now might have the time to shine. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really does help out the channel, and we really appreciate it when you do that. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then.